Hello friends and welcome to DigiiMento. So I hope you have all joined the classes. I'm so sorry, just 5 minutes late. I'm so sorry. Okay, so let's begin. So we will be continuing our discussion on natural hazards and disasters and their mitigation strategies. So today we will discuss about floods and also the remaining part of the earthquake which we were discussing till yesterday. So let's begin. But before that, if you have not yet subscribed to our channel, please do subscribe to our channel and also share this video with your friends if you like the video. If you are preparing for GATE, NTA, UGC NET or PGT Computer Science, we are providing the online courses and the details you can get from our website www.digiiMento.com or from this number. So yeah, let's get started. So hello Neetu, hi Sumati, hi Lipika, hi Puviri. Hi Sakshi. Hello. I'm sorry I got like 5 minutes late. I'm really sorry for that. So let's start. So we were discussing about natural hazards and disasters, and out of these we have already finished cyclone and drought. Today we will take up earthquake. Yesterday we already started. So cyclone we have completed fully. Drought also we completed, and earthquake we have started. So today we will complete earthquake and floods. So this 4 we will complete by today, and tomorrow we will try to complete all these 3: landslide, mudslide and avalanche, and tsunami and volcanic eruption. So tomorrow we will be trying to cover all these 3, and with that this chapter also will come to an end. So we will try to complete it by tomorrow, this chapter by tomorrow. Okay, so yeah, cyclone we have discussed, mitigation strategy, drought, earthquake, measurement. Yeah, yes. So yeah, today we will start with the measurement of earthquakes. Hi Ramesh, hi Kirtana. So hi Lipika, good evening. So measurement of earthquake. Now there are basically 2 measurements of earthquake. One is to measure the magnitude, second one is the intensity. Now do not confuse between both of this, because questions were asked based on the magnitude scale and also the intensity scale. So we have the Richter scale which measures the magnitude of the earthquake. So Richter scale, it measures the magnitude of the earthquake. This is also called the magnitude scale because it measures the magnitude of the earthquake. So the magnitude, what is it? It relates to the energy released during the earthquake, and it is expressed in terms of absolute numbers from 0 to 10. So magnitude means the energy, the level of energy released during the earthquake. It is called the magnitude of the earthquake, and it is measured in terms of Richter scale. Now next is Mercalli scale. It is the intensity scale, that is it measures the intensity of the earthquake, which means the intensity scale, it takes into account the visible damage caused by the event, and the range is from 1 to 12. Now intensity means it is a quantitative term, which means that we can measure it in real terms. How? Depending on the damage caused by the earthquake. So we have 2 measurements of earthquakes. One is the Richter scale which measures the magnitude. So it is the magnitude scale, and magnitude is measured by the energy released during the earthquake. So we have basically 2 measurements. So Richter scale and the Mercalli scale. So Mercalli scale is intensity scale, Richter scale is magnitude scale. Now what is magnitude and what is intensity? Magnitude means the energy released during the earthquake, and intensity means the visible damage caused due to the earthquake. Now the Richter scale is between 1 to 10, whereas the Mercalli scale is between 1 to 12. So these are the 2 measurements of earthquake. This is important because previous years questions were asked from this particular topic. So please do remember this. Yeah, I am very sorry I forgot to send you the PPTs on Telegram. I think I'll send it soon after the class so that I'll not forget. Okay, now only I remembered about it. So I'll send it soon after this class. Okay, sorry. Now we will come to the magnitude and the strength. So Depending on the magnitude, we can determine the strength of the earthquake. And if what is magnitude? What did I tell you about the magnitude? It is the energy released. Okay, magnitude means the energy released, and the intensity means the visible damage. Now, if the magnitude is between 1 to 10. So, if the magnitude is 8 or more, then the strength of the earthquake, that is the energy released, is great. Now, 7 to 7.9, it is major earthquake. 6 to 6.9, strong, then moderate, light, and minor. What is important for you is great. So 8 and above, we can say it is a great it is of great strength, and major 7 to 7.9. So these two are important for you. Okay. Now here we will see the seismic zones of India. So what is meant by the seismic zones or the earthquake prone zones of India? So this is based on the intensity of the earthquake, or seismic zone means the area where the earthquake is tend to focus. And here we will see, depending on the intensity, or we will see how different zones are classified. Now the fifth one, the fifth zone, zone 5 of the earthquake. Here I'll just mark it. Okay, zone 5. Zone 5 means very severe. That means there is high risk of earthquakes, or it is highly prone to earthquakes. So the color is pink for 5. So here you will see Gujarat, the whole of Northeast. Then here in the Jammu and Kashmir certain region. Then some of the areas in the Himalayan belt. These are the states which falls in the fifth zone. Now, most important is Gujarat and the Northeast. What does it mean? It means that in India, Gujarat and the northeastern states, the state of Gujarat and the northeastern states are very much prone to earthquake. So, what could be the reason? Now, we have seen that earthquake means sudden movement of the earth's crust, or what we call as the sudden movement of the plates. So plates are located beneath the surface of the earth, and the sudden movement of these plates results into earthquake. Now here we will see Gujarat and northeastern states. So if these places have a high risk of earthquake or high intensity, it means that the plates of these areas, they have a tendency of frequent, or they have a tendency of sudden movements. So this is very important. Zone 5 is very, very important. So here the magnitude of the earthquake is more than 7 and more. So Gujarat and northeastern states and Kashmir, some parts of Kashmir, and some of the regions in the Himalayan belt. These are the region which are highly prone to earthquakes in India. Next we have zone 4. So this could be asked, Gujarat, Northeast, okay. This is important. Now we have the zone 4. Now here we will see that the zone 4 is marked by the green color. Now the entire belt of Himalayas, starting from Kashmir Himalayas to Himachal Himalayas, and northeastern Himalayas are not included. Why? Because it's already under the zone 5, high intensity. So the entire Kashmir region, then Uttarakhand, Himachal Pradesh, this Himalayan belt, we will see that this Himalayan belt, we can say that it is having a severe risk. So very severe is northeast and the state of Gujarat. Now Himalayan belt, we can say, we can call it as the entire Himalayan belt. We will see that the entire Himalayan belt is prone to severe earthquakes, or severely prone to earthquakes. There is a high risk. So this is the category 4 or the zone 4. Now we have the zone 3, which is marked by the yellow color. Now here we will see that the state of Kerala, then the Western Ghats, we can say. See here, the entire Western Ghats, the border areas of the Western Ghats. It includes Kerala, Karnataka, some parts of Tamil Nadu, then moving upwards, Maharashtra, then some parts of Gujarat, Rajasthan. No, it has not reached till yes, Rajasthan. Yes, Rajasthan is there. So Rajasthan, Gujarat already included because the other parts of Gujarat falls under the severe and very severe category. So that is why we have not included. Otherwise, we can say the entire Western Ghats moving upwards towards Rajasthan, some parts of Punjab, Haryana. Then even in the interiors of the earth, interiors of India. Then here some coastal regions of Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana. Telangana anyway, it's not a coastal state. It doesn't have coastal borders, but still some parts of Telangana, Andhra Pradesh, etc. So this falls under the moderate category. So these are the states which falls under the zone 3, which is the moderate category. Now we have the zone 2. Why we doesn't have a zone 1 is because zone 1 and 2 was mixed together. So zone 1 and 2, they were joined together, which is having low risk. So what is most important is severe, very severe and low risk. Okay. Now very low risk, it is marked by blue color. So here we will see interiors of the country. So interiors, some border areas, but still we can say some interiors of the country having very low risk. Okay. So this is about the different zones. So we have basically 4 zones. Why? Because the first and the second zone, they were combined together. Low and very low category, they were combined together. Otherwise, we earlier had 5 zones, but now only 2, 3, and 4 and 5. So fifth one is the high risk or very, very severe. And very good example is in the state of Gujarat, there was a major earthquake. So the Gujarat earthquake, it is one example. So you can remember it that way also. Now Gujarat and Northeast. So Gujarat and Northeast having very severe risk of earthquake. Then severe risk is the entire Himalayan belt and some other parts of Gujarat which were not included in the very severe category. In Gujarat, in the state of Gujarat itself, you will see that there are 3 categories: severe, very severe and also moderate. Okay. Then some areas of Maharashtra, Goa borders. Then the entire Himalayan belt. This comes under the severe category. Then we also have the moderate category and the low risk category. Okay. Low risk is mainly towards the interior of the country. Okay. Okay, so this is about the different zones. Now, mitigation strategies. First one is building earthquake resistant structure. Now, a very good example of building earthquake resistant structure, we can see it in Japan. Japan is a city, or Japan is a country which is highly prone to earthquake, and still it is a highly developed country. Why it is so? This is because their building strategies, they have their town planning and their urban planning, everything is based on earthquake resistant structures. So the first and the foremost is to build earthquake resistant structures, and a very good example you will see in Japan. Second is locate safe places in your house as well as outside the house. So locating safe places during earthquake for identifying the safe places is very important for the movement during the earthquake or when the warning is given. Know about the safety measures to be used during and after an earthquake, and share this with your family if you belong to a earthquake prone area. Now these mitigation strategies might seem very simple to you. This is because I have taken this from the NCRTs, the disaster management NCRT textbook only. I have taken this content. That is why this looks like very childish. NCRTs are meant for school children, so I have taken it from there, and that is the most authentic source for disaster management. If you want to do additional reference, I will recommend you to go through the NCRT disaster management textbook. It is in the class 9 and 10. So in the 9th standard and in the 10th standard, you have the disaster management textbooks for NCRT textbooks. So you can go through them if you want some additional content. But I think this is enough because I have taken these content from the NCRTs. The important ones I have taken from there. Next is having knowledge of the emergency helpline. So this is all applicable, especially if you live in a high risk or at least moderate risk area. So if the place where you live, it's of some risk or prone to earthquake, then you should be knowing all these, like the emergency helpline number, the basic tips and techniques for first aid that you can help the injured, and if you are inside the house or a building during a earthquake, what has to be done. So if you are inside the house or if you are inside a building, then you can sit under heavy furniture or against an inside wall, and if you are outside, you can move into an open area, and if you are moving in a moving vehicle, then stop the vehicle quickly. So these are all some of the mitigation strategies. Okay, and stay careful regarding the aftershocks. For emergency information, during the earthquake, the power or the electricity will be completely shut down, so you can listen to a battery operated radio. So all these content I have taken from NCERT. You can refer to the NCERT textbooks of 9th standard and the 10th standard for this if you want more content, but I think this is sufficient enough. There is no need to do any additional reference, and as I have taken this from NCERT, the source is very authentic. That is why I have gone for NCERT, and in other some websites and all you will see complicated data, but NCERT is the most reliable because it's a government publication. Second thing, the content, it is very accurate, and also that you can depend on the content. So that's why. Sneha has asked me Telegram channel. Actually, there are 3-4 Telegram channels, I think, for DigiiMento. Can someone please share the Telegram channel names here so that Sneha can join it? Okay, now we will move to floods, but before that, any doubts regarding earthquakes, you can ask me. I'll just give you 30 seconds or something. You can just raise the doubts you have regarding earthquakes, then we will move forward. Any doubts? No. If it's clear, tell. Okay. If it's clear, let me know. We will move ahead. Okay. Okay. Yuvraj has asked me the Gujarat earthquake year. I have to check. Just give me a second. I'll just check. I think it was in 2005. The major earthquake. 2001. It was in 2001. So yeah, I'll just read it out. I just referred it now. So 2001 Gujarat earthquake, it's also known as the Bhuj earthquake because the place, it occurred on the 26th of January, Republic Day, India's 52nd Republic Day. The epicenter was about 9 km southwest of the village of Chobari in Bachau Taluk of Kutch district. So it was in Kutch district, and the epicenter was, you know what is epicenter, we have discussed, focuses under the surface of the earth where the earthquake, the energy, the point from where the energy releases, and same vertical of that where it reaches the surface is called the epicenter. So it was in 2001. Okay, Gujarat earthquake was in 2001. And you want to know more about Richter scale. So Richter scale, it measures the magnitude of the earthquake. So magnitude, you know what is magnitude? It is the energy released during the earthquake. So Richter scale measures the magnitude based on the energy released. And the Mercalli scale, it is the intensity based scale. That is, it measures the visible damage caused due to the earthquake. So these are the differences. Okay, anything else? Now I think we will move to floods. Okay. Now, floods means an overflow of a large amount of water beyond the normal limits. So, we will come to the reasons and all. So, flood means basically we have discussed about the concept of water table. Now, water table means it is regarding groundwater. So, water table means the point, if we dig the surface of the earth, the point where we find the water is called the water table. So, the same concept in the rivers also, there is a particular level through which the water flows, and if there is an overflow of large amount of water beyond its normal limits, it is called flood. Now, this is very similar to water table. So, in case of rivers, the level will increase. So, the level of water flowing, suppose this is a river and this is the level, okay, this is the maximum level. Now, what can be the reasons the level of water will increase? It can be due to heavy rains, it can be due to siltation, it can be due to garbage thrown into the rivers. Then definitely, if this is the level, then if more garbage is thrown, it will go down. So, what will happen? The water will move upwards. So, it leads to overflow of large amount of water. So, overflow of large amount of water beyond the normal limits is called the floods. Okay. Just a second. Okay, so the destructive capacity of a flood, it depends on the amount of water flow and its speed. So, two things will determine the destructive capacity of a flood. So, the amount of destruction caused due to the flood, it is dependent upon two factors. One is the amount of water flow and the speed of the flow. So, these are the two things. One is velocity, another one is the quantity of water flown. When the water goes beyond the carrying capacity of the dams, then the gates of the dams to be opened and to release the water. So, again, another cause of floods is that when the water carrying capacity of the dams increases, when the water goes beyond the carrying capacity of the dams, then the gates of the dams has to be opened to release the water. Okay, now I'll give you an example also. In 2018, so 2 years back, there was a major flood in the state of Kerala. So during that time, what happened was that the dams, there was a increase in the level of water in the dams. So the water had gone beyond the carrying capacity of the dams. So what happened is that the gates of the dams were opened. So this led to the flood basically. The excessive rainfall was one reason, but other than that, when the carrying capacity of the dams increased, the gates of the dams had to be opened, and that was one major reason why the floods, the intensity of the floods increased in Kerala in the year 2018. So, this is about floods, and every year during the monsoon there are floods in many parts of the country. So every year we will see, in case of India, one part or the other there are floods. Now this year there was floods in Assam. So Assam, there were floods. Then in some parts of Maharashtra floods were reported. Then even in some parts of Kerala, but it was not a major flood because it lasted just for 2-3 days, but still floods were reported. So monsoon is one reason which brings floods into the country. Now what can be the reason? Because of the rainfall. So when excessive rainfall is received during the monsoon, the carrying capacity of the dams as well as the carrying capacity of the rivers also will increase, leading to overflow of the water, and which leads to floods. And the major flood prone areas in India. So this is very important. Okay, for your examination this is very important. The major flood prone areas in India. So basically the river banks. Why? Because floods will have or excessive rainfalls or anything will have an immediate impact on the rivers. The level of the water flown through the rivers will increase. So basically the river banks are the most flood prone areas. So, and the deltas of the rivers and the river banks of river Ravi, Yamuna Sahibi, then Gandak, Satluj, Ganga, Gagar, Kosi, Teesta, Brahmaputra, Mahanadi, Mahananda, Damodar, Godavari, Mayurakshi, Sabarmati and their tributaries. So again, Brahmaputra is very important, very, very important. Brahmaputra, always a reason for floods. Okay, so river banks are the most flood prone areas in India. And now this is regarding Indian flood prone areas. This is state wise. We have discussed river wise. Now state wise, this is again very important. West Bengal, Odisha and Andhra Pradesh. Every year there is at least one flood in West Bengal. Okay. So West Bengal is one state which is highly risky with regard to floods, highly prone to floods. Then we have Kerala, Assam, Bihar, Gujarat, then Uttar Pradesh, Haryana, Punjab. And this last 2-3 years, every year, at least a minor flood in Assam and Kerala. So these are the flood prone areas. Now we will also see that if you look closely into these states, if you study closely, you will see that there is a presence of major rivers in all these states. So there are some major rivers. Regarding West Bengal, there are some major rivers. Andhra Pradesh, Kerala, so Assam, Bihar. Assam and West Bengal, they are connected to each other because it's very close to each other. Bengal and Assam, they are neighboring states. Then Bihar, Gujarat, Uttar Pradesh, Haryana and Punjab. Again, Haryana and Punjab due to the Indus rivers. Andhra Pradesh, Krishna, Godavari rivers, then Brahmaputra, then many rivers flowing through Kerala. Assam again, Brahmaputra, West Bengal. So, okay, so these are some of the flood prone areas in India. Okay. Now mitigation strategies. Now again the mitigation strategies, I have copied it from the NCERT. So you might think that these are very, these are kind of very, very simple strategies, but this is given in NCERTs and that's why it seems to be like very silly. So stay updated with the warnings by the authorities. We know that we have the meteorological department and everything which will give us the warnings regarding the rainfall and flood, occurrence of flood or any chances of flood, and depending on that yellow alert, orange alert, then red alert etc. is given. And if red alert is given, it means that those areas, people living in those areas should be very much prepared because there is every chance for a flood. So green, yellow, orange and red alerts are given during the flood, or during, not during but before the flood if there is any chance of excessive rainfall. Okay. Next is know about the safety measures to be used during and after the floods. So safety measures that has to be used during the floods and the after the floods. And one major issue after the flood is the spread of diseases, because during floods what happens, the water flow. Now, as I told you, we live in Kerala and we live in Trivandrum. So, during the 2018 flood, which was a major flood, except this district of Trivandrum, all other districts were affected. Basically, my hometown, my native is some other district, it's in Kottayam. So, even my district was very badly affected. And one problem was that after the flood, the biggest issue is that after the flood, there is a spread of diseases. Why? Because the water, it flows through everywhere, like the pits and then all these drainage systems. This water carries every waste and garbage, and the drainage system, even the sewage system, everything is carried away with the water. So there is a high chance of spread of infectious diseases after the flood. That is a very big issue. So after the flood also, measures has to be taken for controlling the spread of this infectious diseases. Next is to take proper precautions to avoid the blockage of the flood water in drains. So you must have seen that if there is a warning regarding flood, or even before monsoon, okay, if you belong to any state which receives excessive monsoons, or those states which receives monsoon rainfall, you will see that your urban local bodies, or the if you live in a rural area, the panchayats or the rural local bodies or the district administration, etc., will take measures to clean the drainages before the monsoon. Why it is so? This is to allow the passage for the water. Otherwise, what will happen if there is blockage or blocks in the drainage systems or the sewage system, then there is excessive chance of or high risk of flood in that area. So proper precautions has to be taken to avoid any blockage of flood water in the drains. And also having a knowledge of the emergency helpline is helpful, and prepare a emergency plan regarding evacuation and then rehabilitation, etc. Learn the basic tips and techniques of first aid. So first aid basic tips has to be learned. So these are some mitigation strategies. Next is avoid walking in the flood water. Why? One reason is that the flood water which carries even the waste and the garbage and everything, there are chances of infections. Now, second thing is that if the speed or the velocity of the water is high, then this can result into heavy casualties. This year in Kerala, there was a case reported, and this was regarding a car. So a moving car was carried away by the flood water. That is because of the high velocity of the water flowing. So this is very important to avoid walking in the flood waters and to stay at a higher place. Why? It is important to stay at a higher place because during the flood, the areas in the lower plains or lower levels, there is more risk. So on the top of a hill, or if there is a slope and all, down slope will have higher risk of flood. So that is important. Follow the radio broadcast for emergency information, and if there are any orders for evacuations, then evacuate and shift to a safer place. In 2018, what happened in Kerala was that the Kerala floods was a major one, but people were not aware about the intensity of the floods at the beginning. So what happened, even though the authorities asked them to evacuate from the places, they did not do it because this was not familiar for them. So Kerala is not a place which has seen this frequent floods, and since 2018 it's frequent. So it's very important to listen to the orders and then evacuate. There can be insects, reptiles, animals inside the house even after the floods or during the floods. So after relocating to your house, suppose your place is a flood prone area and you evacuated to a safe place, and then when you come back you have to be very careful. Follow the orders from the authorities about returning home. So these are some of the measures or mitigation strategies that has to be followed with regard to floods. Okay. Next, we will just start with landslide, mudslide and avalanche. Tomorrow we will continue. So, what is landslide, mudslide and avalanche? Now, regarding landslide, also a very recent example, again in the state of Kerala, reported a few weeks, I think it was just 1 week or 2 weeks back. That was a very pathetic situation, a very severe situation, which was reported in the district of Idukki in Kerala. So, a major landslide which took the life of more than 50 people. So Idukki landslides, it was in near to the hill station of Munnar. Many of you must have heard about Munnar. So this was a major landslide reported very recently. And if you remember, this was on the same day of the airplane flight crash which happened in Calicut, again in the state of Kerala. So heavy rains unleash huge masses of land and mudslide mudslide down, burying people and houses within minutes. So what happens during heavy rainfall? What will happen? Huge masses of land, especially small hills and small mountains and all, will fall down, and this will completely bury the people and houses. I'll just show you an example. Suppose this is a range of hills or mountains, and suppose on the valley of these mountains there are some houses built. This is what happened in Kerala. So there were some, I don't exactly remember the numbers, but more than 20 houses, small houses. Those houses were those people working, daily wage laborers who were working in the tea estates of Munnar were living. So about 60 to 70 people were also living in these houses. So during the heavy rains, what happened? These hills fell and they fell on the houses. So the houses and the people, they were entirely beneath this mudslide or the landslide. So beneath these mountains. So the mountains had fallen upon these people and the houses. So this is what happens during a landslide. And the biggest problem of a landslide, or the biggest difficulty, is that measures to be adopted, like rescue measures to be adopted, it's very difficult, especially because landslide is a result of heavy rains. And what happens during heavy rains, the mountains or the land mass which has fallen, this gets mixed up with the water of the rain and it becomes like mud. So it's very difficult to rescue the people. It took almost 1.5 weeks during the recent Kerala Idukki landslide to rescue the people. And you know what happens, like people, when they are beneath these land masses for days and weeks, you will not get them alive. So the dead bodies, even the dead bodies will start decaying, and it's very difficult to rescue the people. So that's a very sad part. Rescue is very difficult in case of landslide. In case of flood or earthquake, even for earthquake it's very difficult, but in flood and all, it's comparatively easier for the rescue operations. But in case of a landslide, the rescue operations are very, very risky, and the continuous rain adds even more difficulty into the rescue operations. Now, avalanches are the mass of ice and snow falling down, swallowing up everything in its path. So, landslide and mudslide means the land masses falling, whereas the falling of ice and snow, this is called avalanches. So these are mudslide, landslide and avalanche. Tomorrow we will take up the reasons for the avalanches and the landslides and the mitigation strategies. Then we will also see tsunami tomorrow, the mitigation strategies of tsunami. Then we will come to volcanic eruption and the mitigation strategies. Then Disaster Management Act, NDMA, functions of NDMA. So this is all. Maximum by day after tomorrow we will finish this. Tomorrow itself we will try, because tomorrow I am planning to take a longer session. Okay. Okay. Yeah, Lipika has commented that West Bengal is facing every year. Yes, floods are frequent in West Bengal. And plastic is another reason. Yes, plastic, and especially one-time usage plastics, one very big reason. Neetu has commented about the Idukki landslides. Yes, and Kaur Telegram channel name. So can someone comment the name of the Telegram channel, please? Okay, I think we will just take up the reasons also, so that tomorrow we will try to finish. 7:30 Vikrant is asking me tomorrow. I'm not sure, because I already spoke it to the team and they were all for 7 o'clock. I think you can just join at 7:30 and then after the class you can watch the beginning of the class. Because I already spoke to the team regarding 7:30. I think I will talk to them once more. If all of you want, or majority of you want the classes at 7:30, I can talk to them once more. Okay, I think we will just take up the reasons also, because tomorrow I am trying to finish this chapter. So today we will finish the reasons also, then we will bind up. Okay, so reasons, one is cutting down the trees. So if we talk about the Idukki landslides happened very recently, one major factor that was pointed out was that this area where the landslides happened, it belonged to ecologically sensitive zones. So ecologically sensitive zone. Now, according to the Gadgil committee and the Kasturi Rangan committee reports given, this place where the landslide happened, it was on the Western Ghats. So this was located on the Western Ghats, and where construction activities and other developmental activities were highly restricted, but the committee reports were not implemented to its fullest form. So deforestation or losing of the ecological balance due to deforestation, undertaking developmental activities, etc. are one major reason. Next is blocking the natural drainage in the hills. So this is another reason. Construction of roads in the disaster prone areas. It is not just restricted to construction of roads, but any developmental activity. So if developmental activities are taking place on disaster prone areas, then what happens? Then this will increase the chances of landslides, and having dwelling houses near such hotspots. Hotspots means ecologically sensitive zones. These are some of the reasons, major reasons for landslides. Again, landslides, as I said, it's one of the major disasters, and also we can say this is one kind of disaster where if we see a landslide spot, you can just YouTube or you can just Google and see some of the photographs of the Idukki landslide which happened recently. The situation is very pathetic because even the rescue operations cannot be done, especially if it is complemented with the rainfall. So rescue operations become very, very difficult, and after a few weeks when we get the dead bodies, most of the dead bodies will be in the decayed form. So that is one major problem with regard to the landslides. Okay, so I think we will wind up the class today. And yes, we will meet again tomorrow. Tomorrow the time will be 7, Vikrant, but I'll try to talk to the team, and if there is any change in the timings, we will update in the Telegram group. And please do mention the Telegram group here on the comments if you know. Okay, so others can also join. I'll see you tomorrow. Good night and stay well. Keep yourself safe and also study well. Revise very well. Okay, take care. Bye-bye. Hello friends and welcome to DigiiMento. So we will try to finish this chapter today, natural hazards and disasters and the mitigation strategies. So we will we will try to finish it today itself. So let's move on. Now let's start, and if you have joined the classes, please do let me know. Send me a hi, hello on the chat session, on the live chat session. Please let me know that you are watching the classes. So let's start. And if you have not yet subscribed to our channel, please do subscribe to our channel and also press the bell icon to receive the notifications. And we are providing online courses for GATE, NTA, UGC NET and PGT Computer Science. You can avail our online courses, and for more details you can visit our website www.digimento.com, or you can call to this number for getting more details about the same. Now we were discussing about the natural hazards and disasters, and we discussed about what is the difference between a hazard, a disaster, etc. And then these are the disasters that we will be discussing: cyclone, drought, earthquake, flood, landslide, tsunami and volcanic eruption. So out of these disasters, we have already completed cyclone, drought, earthquake, flood and landslide and avalanche also we have completed. Today we will be discussing their mitigation strategies, and then we will discuss tsunami and volcanic eruption today. So we will try to cover it today, but one topic that is that also has to be covered is the Disaster Management Act and other government legislations regarding the disasters. So we will try to cover this today itself. So if you have joined, send me a hi. Hi Atira, hi Rani, hi Pooja Singh and hi Puri. So yeah, I think we will start now. Okay, so you can just go through the slides just to revise whatever we have learned till yesterday. Cyclone, cyclonic speed, then mitigation strategies of cyclone, drought, different types of drought, Mitigation strategies. Earthquake. Then the waves generated during the earthquake. Different types of body waves. Measurement of earthquake. The Richter scale and the Mercalli scale. Then we discussed about different zones. Earthquake risk prone zones. Mitigation strategies. Then floods. Then flood prone areas in India. Again mitigation strategy. Then we started with landslide, mudslide and avalanche. Okay. And the reasons also yesterday we discussed. Now we will come to the mitigation strategy. Hi Puvidi, hi Lipika, hi Gajalakshmi and hi Shaik. So we will start. Okay, mitigation strategies, and I am again repeating that mitigation strategies will seem very simple to you. You may even think that why there is a need to discuss this in the class, but this is given in your syllabus, so we have to discuss this in the class, and this is taken from NCERT, so that's why the language is very simple. First one is to study the disaster prone regions in detail, that is geographical, hydrological and meteorological. So studying the disaster prone regions in detail, and tap traditional wisdom of villages and the tribals. So traditional wisdom or the usage or utilization of the traditional wisdom is another thing. Planting more trees endemic to the region. Endemic means those tree varieties that can very well grow and which are endemic, which are naturally found in the region. Why? Because planting more trees can resist erosion, or what we call as the large scale erosion, which is called the landslide. So planting of trees, the trees will act as a natural barrier against the landslide. So planting trees which are endemic to the region. Then avoiding construction activities like building roads, houses, etc. in the nearby hotspots. So this is what happened during the Idukki landslide, which happened very recently. Yesterday I think we discussed about it. The Idukki landslides which took place in a place very close to Munnar. So what happened is that this place, the place where the landslide happened, it was categorized as a ecologically sensitive zone. So ecologically sensitive zones are of high importance to the ecology, and preservation of such areas is very important. Now how can this preservation be done? Preservation can be done by restricting the developmental activities like construction of roads or houses or buildings, etc. near these hotspots. So this is how we can reduce the risk of landslides in those areas. Now that is why avoiding or restricting maximum the construction of buildings, roads, etc., houses, etc., or we can rather say restriction of developmental activities, and have human habitations away from disaster prone areas. So that is very important. Why? Because we have seen that there is a difference between a hazard and a disaster. Now not every hazard is a disaster. Hazard, it's a broader thing, or disasters, hazards poses certain threat, but when these hazards affect the human beings, then it becomes a disaster. Now there is a chance that we can avoid the disasters even though not hazard. Hazards can happen naturally also, but disasters we can reduce or we can restrict to the minimum. How? This is by avoiding or restricting the human habitations. So in those areas which are prone to disasters, the human habitations can be avoided, so that even if something happen, then it becomes only a hazard, not a disaster. It will not turn into a disaster. Okay. Next is, do not interfere with the natural drainage system. Now what do you mean by the interference of natural drainage system? That is, do not cause a negative impact on the natural drainage system by putting garbage or in any other ways. Next is to construct barriers with stone and wire mesh to stabilize the soil. So to stabilize the soil means when there is a soil erosion, then this barriers, construction of the barriers with the stones etc. can avoid this soil erosion if it is of like minor category. If it is major category, then even the barriers will not work. Okay. Next is activate relief teams when the disaster strikes the area. So activate the relief teams. So especially in those areas where there is a chance or risk of disasters, the relief teams should be already ready so as to take immediate measures soon after the disaster. Then first priority to rescue the injured and the trapped. So the first priority should be given to rescue those who are injured and those who are trapped. We know how this trapping happens. Yesterday we discussed about it. During a landslide, an entire mountain, or we can say entire block of mountain, will fall upon a particular place. So maybe many people will get trapped inside that. So first priority should be given to rescue the injured and the trapped. Next is to provide food, medical relief and shelter to those displaced in the disaster hit areas. So food, that is the essential services like the food, medical relief and the shelters should be provided to those who are displaced. Now in a particular place, if a landslide has happened, so these people living in these areas, they will be immediately shifted to a safer place, which we call as relief camps. Relief camp. So in this relief camps, essential services or the requirements of these people who are in this relief camps, it should be provided with. Okay. So these are some of the mitigation strategies. So with this we finish the landslides, then we have tsunami and also we have volcanic eruption. With that the disasters, the discussion on disasters will come to an end. Then we will take up Disaster Management Act if time permits. Today itself we will try to cover it. Okay, next we have tsunami. So tsunami is basically a tidal wave or a seismic sea wave. So it's basically a tidal wave or a seismic sea wave. Now what is meant by seismic? We have already learned it when we discussed about the earthquake. So when we discussed about earthquake, we discussed about seismicity and we also discussed to measure the seismicity etc. we have discussed. So what is meant by seismic sea wave? Now seismic sea wave means in case of earthquake, what happens? In case of earthquake, we have discussed that beneath the surface of the earth there are various plates which shake, or the movement of these plates which release the energy, and this energy is brought to the surface of the earth in the form of waves. So this is how the earthquakes happen. Now similarly, in case of earthquakes, it is generally referred to the movement of plates beneath the surface of the earth, or what we can say, rather we can put it like this, beneath the or on the lithosphere. Okay, in the lithosphere when there is a movement of plates, and we know lithosphere refers to the land. Okay, we have discussed about lithosphere, atmosphere and hydrosphere. Try to recollect that. Okay, this happens in the lithosphere. So earthquake is the movement of the, or the sudden movement of the plates on the lithosphere. Similarly, the plates can also move on the hydrosphere. Now we know hydrosphere is the water bodies mainly consisting of the oceans. So oceans and any other water body will constitute the hydrosphere. Now in the case of hydrosphere also there are plates beneath the surface of the ocean. So any immediate movement of the plates beneath the surface of the ocean will lead to seismicity beneath the ocean. So this seismic sea wave, such immediate movement of the plates beneath the surface of the ocean will give effect to, or will form the seismic sea waves, or it can also be a tidal wave. So a tidal wave or a seismic sea wave, it's a series of waves in the water body caused due to displacement of large volume of water. Now how does this displacement of large volume of water happens? This displacement of large volume of water happens because of the movement of the plates beneath the surface of the water. So earthquakes, that is what we said, seismicity or seismic sea waves due to earthquake beneath the surface of the water, not land or beyond or beneath the water body. So earthquakes or any volcanic eruptions and other underwater explosions above or below the water, these are all the reasons for generating a tsunami. So this can be because of earthquakes under the surface of the water, or even volcanic eruptions under the surface of the water, or any other underwater explosions. So all these can give result to tsunami. Now we will come to the mitigation strategies. First one is to install early warning devices in the sea. Early warning devices, why? Because yesterday when we discussed about some other disasters, we discussed about the coastal areas in India. So the coastal areas of India, more than half of India's states share coastal borders. What happens is that the coastal community is mainly dependent upon ocean resources like the fishes and other kind of ocean resources for their survival. So they are mostly the fishermen community. So what happens is that they will I'm sorry. So they will go to the sea like normal, and if warning is not given, they will go to the sea as normal. So there is very high risk to their life if an immediate tsunami hits the coast. So early warning devices is very important, and also that not only those who go to the sea but also those people who live in the coastal areas. So we discussed about cyclones. So we said that cyclones, the coastal areas are the most riskiest place or the riskiest areas with regard to the cyclones. So similar is the case with tsunami also. The coastal areas, the coastal region are the most vulnerable areas with regard to tsunamis also. So not just the people who go to the sea or the ocean, but also those people who live near the coastal area or in the coastal area will also be affected, and tsunami has a high risk. Okay. And install the warning system through public address system all along the sea coast that is likely to be affected. So public address system like the public radios or the TV channels etc. can be used in order to pass this information throughout the entire sea coast. Then cooperate with neighboring countries such as Southeast Asia to have a coordinated warning system. Now why it is important to coordinate with the neighboring countries? Now if we look into India or the physical map of India, okay, so I'll just change the color. So here we have the okay, so we are the southern India, it's till Gujarat on the western side and till the West Bengal in the eastern side. So east and the west. So we are bounded by the Indian Ocean. So Indian Ocean. And also we have the Pacific Ocean which is connected to the Indian Ocean. Okay. So here we will see that more than half of India's borders share coastal borders. So the coastal borders means this Indian Ocean and the Pacific Ocean which is close to Indian Ocean or which connects the Indian Ocean. There are many other countries which share the same ocean borders. So a coordinated approach can definitely have a better impact on the mitigation. Okay, that's why it is important. Next one is to involve the Navy which is specialized with regard to ocean and water resources. So involve Navy and also the Air Force planes along the coast in sending warnings to the people of an impending disaster. First priority should be to rescue the people. So if property and people, so suppose if the property and the people, if both are in damage, priority will be given for people, for rescuing people. Okay, people will be given the priority. and dispose of the dead bodies and carcasses of animals quickly to prevent the spread of diseases. So dead bodies and the animal dead bodies should be immediately disposed of in order to prevent the spread of further diseases. Yesterday we discussed that one of the most important things to be taken care after the disasters is that after the disasters there are chances of spread of infectious diseases. Next is to educate those living nearby and especially the fisherfolk on tsunami. So educating or providing them with knowledge about the disaster and the mitigation strategies is important. Now, this is very important point. Grow mangrove forest or other forest endemic to the region. Now, in Kerala, there was an issue with regard to the mangrove forest in a particular district, that is the district of Calicut and in Malappuram. So, these two districts, Calicut and Malappuram districts of Kerala, naturally there was mangrove forest. There were mangrove forests which were coming up naturally. But what happened is that because of this growth or the rapid growth of this mangrove forest over the coastal regions of Calicut and Malappuram, what happened? People started cutting off these mangrove forests in order to undertake agricultural activities or cultivation. So government released an order saying that people cannot cut the mangrove forest. So there were two sides to it. Now we will see it from the people's angle and also from the government's angle. First we will come to the people. So this mangrove forest, once they grow in a particular region, there is a chance that the mangrove forest can grow rapidly, which means it will cover a long distance or a larger area in a very small period of time. Now mangrove forest, another thing is that they grow in marshy land, which means at the adjoining junctions of saline and fresh waters. So saline and fresh water, there is high chances of the growth of mangroves. Now this rapid growth of the mangrove forest, thereby occupying larger areas, this will create a threat to the people in the way that the area under cultivation or agricultural area gets restricted because of the rapid growth of this mangroves. So this is the angle which was explained by the people. Now coming to the government. So government stance was that mangroves play a very important role in restricting or reducing the risk of tsunamis. So they play a very important role. Now what is the reason? The reason is that the roots of the mangroves, it is the trees which are grown in the mangrove forest, the roots are very strong, that the roots have the capacity to withhold the tsunami waves. So this was the reason. This is the reason basically why mangrove forests act as a barrier to protect against the risk of tsunami. Now this was the stance of the government. Okay. Now this was the debate going on. And after this, and it was also experienced in some incidents of tsunami that wherever there was a presence of mangrove forest, the intensity of the tsunami and the risk posed by tsunami was very less. So this is very important, that growing of mangrove forest on the coastal region can help in reducing the risk of tsunami. Next is no encroachment of sea beaches by enforcing the Coastal Regulation Zone Act. We will discuss about the CRZ Act. So CRZ Act is the Coastal Regulation Zone Act. Now Coastal Regulation Zone Act, why it is important? Because it provides various guidelines for undertaking developmental activities on the coastal areas. So there should be no private encroachment of the sea beaches. We will see that many resorts or hotels, many such buildings and etc. are built on the beach side. So basically what happens, there can be encroachment of the sea beaches. So this will also pose a high risk of tsunami. So there should be no encroachment of sea beaches, and the Coastal Regulation Zone Act should be enforced. At least on mechanized boats, provide a radio set so that the warnings could be relayed. So wherever possible, those boats and ships which are moving into the sea should be given warning. So this is the mitigation strategy with regard to tsunamis. Next is constructing houses and buildings away from the sea and on higher ground or on piles. So on higher or elevated grounds. It doesn't mean a top of the mountain, but it means should not be on areas equal to the sea level or even below the sea level, but it should be above the sea level. So construction of houses and buildings away from the sea, that is regarding the distance. Should be away from the sea and on higher ground or on piles. Then rush medical aid and relief through disaster management team that should be activated on receiving the warning. So medical emergency or medical services should be immediately provided through disaster management team, and the team should be immediately activated on receiving the warning. Next is very important point, that is the involvement of NGOs, cooperatives, volunteers, etc. in providing the immediate relief, that is the community participation. So it is actually an extended community. Why? Because community means only the local people. Now extended community means including the young people, youth, NGOs, cooperative societies, the volunteers, everyone. So this is the extended community participation. Next, send only material and supplies that are needed. So sending the supplies and material that are needed. Plan long-term rehabilitation of the victims of tragedy. So long-term rehabilitation should be planned, because once the disaster has happened, then this place will have a risk of even getting more and more frequent incidents of disasters. Now relief fund. So the relief fund should be provided with cash. So this can be done by requesting the donations. You must have heard about the Chief Minister's Disaster Relief Fund working at the state level. We also have the national level Prime Minister's Disaster Relief Fund, etc. So these are some of the mitigation strategies. If you have any doubts, you can ask me. I'll just wait for 30 seconds. Now, hi Swati, hi Neetu, hi Meena. Abinsha is asking me from where do I come in Kerala. So I stay in Trivandrum. Basically, I belong to Kottayam, but I stay in Trivandrum for the last 8 to 9 years. So any doubts, you can ask me. Any doubts, or if it's clear also, let me know. Clear. Okay. I think we will move forward now. Okay. Next we have volcanic eruption. So volcanic eruption. Volcanoes. So what is volcanoes and how do they erupt? This is the question. So a mountain or a hill or typically conical having a crater or a vent through which the lava, the rock fragments, the hot vapor and the gas are or have been erupted from the earth crust. This is called a volcanic eruption. So why it is said that are erupting or have been erupted? Why? Because there are active volcanoes and inactive volcanoes. So those volcanoes which are already erected in the past and which are active are called active volcanoes. Those which are inactive are called inactive volcanoes. Okay. So a mountain or a hill, typically conical in shape, having a crater or a vent, means an opening through which the lava, that is the molten magma. So lava is the magma in its molten form. So from this vent, the actually this magma or this lava, molten magma is the lava. So this lava is present beneath the surface of the earth, so underground, and from the underground through a vent, it reaches the surface of the earth. This is called volcanic eruption. So only live volcano in India is the Barren Island volcano in Andaman and Nicobar Islands. So this is very important. This was also a previous year question, I guess. I read it somewhere when I was looking into your previous year question papers. So I think I have read this. So the only live volcano in India, it is the Barren Island volcano in Andaman and Nicobar Islands. So this is very important. Please note it down. So active volcano means still it is active. That is the magma or the lava is coming out. Okay. Now, lahar. The destructive material flows down from the volcano, typically along a river valley. So this is called lahar. A violent type of mud flow or debris flow composed of slurry of pyroclastic material, rock debris and water. So this is lahar. Lahar means the destructive material. Destructive material means the lava or the magma flows down from a volcano, typically along a river valley, which is referred to as lahar. And this is a kind of mud flow or debris flow, and it comprises of pyroclastic material, the rock debris, particles of rocks and water. So this is lahar. Lahar is not mentioned in your syllabus. I just gave it as an additional information. Now let's come to the mitigation strategies. First one is to stay updated with the warnings. So again, for every disaster, the first and the foremost thing is to stay updated with regard to the warnings. Second is having a knowledge regarding the disasters caused by volcano. That is having a minimum knowledge about the disasters which can be caused due to a volcano. Know about the, another thing regarding volcano, most of the times volcanoes are only hazards. Why? Because most of the times, it's not always. Why? Because lesser impacts are caused on human beings due to the volcanoes. Why? Because volcanoes basically they happen in a mountain or a hill or somewhere like that. So the population will be very less. So most of the time it is a hazard, but it's important that we should take care in order to not turn it into a disaster. So having a knowledge regarding the disasters caused by volcano. Third is know about the safety measures to be used during and after the volcanic eruption. So during the volcanic eruption and after the volcanic eruption, what should be the safety measures to be used? Next is having a knowledge of the emergency helpline. So having a knowledge about the emergency helpline, learn the basic tips and techniques for first aid. Again, these are all very common to every disaster, emergency helpline or first aid, etc. What is very important for you is there are certain mitigation strategies which are specific only to one kind of disaster. For example, growing of mangroves in case of a tsunami or tsunami prone area. So these are all specific and unique strategies, mitigation strategies for a particular disaster. So it's very important that you should learn them. Okay. Next, stay away at a safer place. This is also very important, to stay away at a safer place. If inside a building, then close the doors and the windows. If there are any orders for evacuation, then shift to a safer place. Cover the eyes, nose and mouth. Why? Because during a volcanic eruption, we know the molten magma, which is the lava, is coming from the underground or the beneath the earth surface. So it contains pyroclastic materials, rock debris, etc. and it also contains the ash. So inhaling this is very dangerous. So eyes, nose and mouth should be covered, and follow the radio broadcast for emergency information. So this is all about the volcanic eruption. We have like another 5 to 10 more minutes. Let me see if we can go through the disaster. I think it's a longer thing. I don't think we'll be able to cover it today. Disaster Management Act is there, and the NDMA as well. NDMA is very important from your examination perspective. Very important. The functions were asked previously. So I think we will wind up here today. Tomorrow we will finish the chapter for sure, and then 2 more modules to go, 6 and 7, and they are like little short chapters. Okay, every day I forget to send you this PPTs. What I'll do, I'll send it right now. Okay, otherwise I'll forget. While I'm sending the PPTs, you can just go through the lecture notes that you have written, and if you have any doubt you can ask me. Okay, by that time I'll be putting all the PPTs on the group, okay, on the Telegram channel. So DigiiMento Education, I think that is the group in which you are there. So I am sending it there. So somebody please tell me which is the group in which you all are the members. I have sent it to the... can someone tell me in which group are you all the members? Athira is asking me which module I'll take after paper 1. I'll go for 10th unit. This was the 9th unit, so after this we will go for 10. So I have sent the PPTs to one channel, that is DigiiMento Education. So please tell me if you are the members there, or actually there are like 4 or 5 channels in which sir has invited me and I have joined. So please tell me which is the channel name. Lipika is asking me higher education. Yeah, that will be the 10th module. That is what we will do. You want me to send it in Joycey Joy Official. Okay, that is my Telegram channel. I think, okay, I can do that also, no problem. That is also fine for me. But I think it's better I can send it to your Telegram channel created by DigiiMento, so that everyone is member there. So can someone tell me, Neetu, you were telling me last day about the PPTs, no? So if you are there, can you please tell me in which channel I have to send it? Or anybody else? Yeah, Adira, just a second, I'll just clarify. I have just sent it to DigiiMento Education. I'm saying. So this is the channel in which I have sent the PPTs now. Are you all there in that channel, or do you want me to send it to some other channel? GATE NTA NET Live 2020. Okay, okay. So I hope you are all there in this channel, GATE NTA NET Live. Okay, I have shared it in this channel also. What I'll do is I'll send it to all the channels. Even I'll upload it in my channel also, so that. Okay, DigiiMento Education I will do. Then what I'll do, GATE NTA Net Live 2020 I will share there, and also DigiiMento Education. Both the channels I'll share. And if you are not there in both the channels, what you can do is you can join one of the channel or both the channels, no issues. Okay. Yeah. So you can either join DigiiMento Education or GATE NTA Net Live 2020. So these two channels are there. You can join any one of them. I will send the PPTs there. Okay. Puvidi, you can just search for the name. It's a public channel, I think. Okay. So yeah, we will wind up today. We will meet again tomorrow. Tomorrow we will cover complete this chapter, and then tomorrow we will day after tomorrow we will start with chapter 6 and 7. Also we will complete in 1 week, and after that we will discuss the previous year questions and then unit 10. Okay. So I'll see you. Okay, bye. Take care. I'll see you again tomorrow. Bye bye.